and welcome to episode 79 of Formidable Opponents, a show that pits three people who have known each other virtually their entire lives in a series of conversations as we argue what is best in a variety of fun, engaging, and critical pop culture topics we all debate about. I'm Randall, and with me as always, Bob and Joseph, and this week's topic is best Super Bowl memories. Bob, Joseph, how are you guys doing? This is a non-traditional episode, by the way. We're just going to shoot the shit, talk about our favorite Super Bowl memories. Bob and Joseph, how are you guys?
I was actually about to say that. Are we really calling this a fucking episode?
Yeah, just shoot the shit. Super Bowl, shoot the shit.
We're giving it a number. All right.
Yes, this is an episode.
Episode 53, Super Bowl, shoot
this
the
is
shit
live,
edition.
live to tape. All right.
53? No, we're like on.
Shit.
No, this is 79.
79. I was like, we're way
man.
past that. We're almost at the.
It's like 69, but a little different.
Yeah. You keep your leg up.
It's all about the balance.
I wanted to share a memory with you guys because I had a friend of mine. He used to be a neighbor of mine when I was in middle school. He was a little older, and he texted me before this podcast. That's why I was running a little late to set up the Zoom. And he was asking.
Was it a picture? Was it a sexy picture?
He was trying to get some assistance for college for his daughter, and so he reached out to me. And so I immediately, we're catching up a little bit, and I sent him the last episode's link on Spotify. I said, you got to check this out. You're a huge inspiration to a lot of the rap music I listen to. Just a shout out to him. So it's funny, like just anybody who reaches out, just trying to get the word out, trying to get the consistency of listening to our show. And it's just a great thing, especially when somebody from your past reaches out to you and you have the opportunity to say, hey, thanks for some of the stuff you inspired me with, and, take a listen. Maybe you'll have some memories to share with us later.
Unless it's a crazy ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, I want to apologize. I have a sinus infection. So if I sound a little different, I've been battling. I just took a cortisone shot a couple of days ago. I've been battling a sinus infection, but didn't
Arm
want
or
to miss
cheek. Arm or cheek. That's
cheek.
the question everybody wants to know. Did you lower it all the way down, or did you just peak it a little bit?
So, hopefully my voice keeps up, but we're talking football this week, guys. We want to let everybody know a little trivia. When we first started talking about doing a podcast, it was way back in, I think 2017, 2018. We were having lunch, an early lunch, and we were sitting down saying we should do a sports podcast, and that's what we were going to focus on. We did a couple of sports episodes early. It's something that's always bonded us. It's always something that's always, brought us together, and we're talking about the Super Bowl. What are some of the best Super Bowl memories you guys have?
It means I have the next day off. It means I could drink on a Sunday. It means my team's not in the championship game.
It means the season's done. And that's always kind of sad. But this year is a little bit different, or at least the last couple of years, with the different,
leagues.
The different leagues. I don't want to call them minor leagues because they are professional football leagues, but we got two of them this year. The reemergence of the XFL. So this time usually. Like I said, it would always mean like, oh, it's the end of the season, and the next thing you have to look forward to is the draft, which is not for a couple of months, and then you have to wait for what's preseason and off season where just the whole training camp, and so it gets real like fucking boring. But also too at the same time baseball starts. But that's what it's always kind of meant to me, that the fucking season's over. But again, like I said, it's a little bit different this year. I'm not as down.
As a Texan fan, my season was over week 5, but the great news is we got a new coach, an old face. D'Amico Ryan's coming back to Houston. I actually got to see him in a couple of Texan games. Got to see him live, and for him to come back to coach got me excited about Houston Texans football. Hopefully he can turn the ship around and we can make some shit happen, man. It'd be really nice to be in the playoffs. They're going to be relevant again. It makes me excited about football.
Coming together and talking about the Super Bowl. I don't know about you guys, but Christmases, Thanksgivings, all those other holidays, they all kind of blend. You could pick some of your favorites, but every year, if you tell me I could remember where I was for every Super Bowl. I could remember who I was with, what I was watching, what I was eating, the celebration or the disappointment. Do you guys feel the same way? Like you could just think of any Super Bowl you watched and you remember, it puts you right back to that spot.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that for every Super Bowl, but for the big Super, there's selective. Most Super Bowls, I can remember certain ones. the Titans versus the Rams where Dyson got tackled on the 1 yard line to lose the game. I remember exactly where I was and feeling the heartbreak for that team. Yeah, but I can agree with some of that.
Since my team hasn't been in it for so long, it's more of a here today, gone tomorrow situation. I'll remember a certain maybe play or the
Doritos commercials.
Maybe a nice commercial or something. But other than that, no, I don't. I know, dude. I let go of things rather easily because I can't remember where I was for a lot of my Super Bowls, other than either at home.
I want to say that I remember my first. Do you all at least remember your first Super Bowl?
I remember the one I remember the most for sure was the 1992 Dallas Cowboys win over the Buffalo Bills. That is my first Super Bowl that I remember watching the whole game.
I remember specifically being more happy about the food because I always liked eating where we're from, barbecue, and not so much or Tex-Mex barbecue, fajitas and everything like that. So that's what we grew up on, Bob. Don't fucking try to don't move over. Don't get past our traditions. Did you say even though we do love Texas barbecue as traditional Texas barbecue? Yeah, so I remember one of those. Probably it was one of those. I know it was one of those. Dallas was playing, great food on the table, and I was with my family.
What was yours, Rand? Which one do you remember the most? Your first Super Bowl?
My first Super Bowl was 1984. It was
holy fuck.
the 49ers and the Dolphins. 49ers won that game. That was the first year of the big Super Bowl commercial. That's when Apple had that Big Brother is watching computer commercial. It was Dan Marino and Joe Montana by a Pepsi machine. It was Dan Marino's second year as a pro football player. Everybody thought he was going to go back to the big game continuously. That was the only time he played in the Super Bowl. What I remember the most is I remember my dad making a big deal out of it. And he had the Jiffy Pop. He had the Jiffy Pop that he had over the stove. He burned the crap out of it, and he put like a whole pat of butter on it. It was terrible. But it's what I remember. If I walk into my old house now, I'll remember where the TV was, where I was sitting. And I used to think every year, it was going to be the 49ers and the Dolphins. I thought it was like pro wrestling where you had Hulk Hogan in the main event every year. And I was like, wait a minute, the next year was the Bears and the Patriots. And I was like, what's going on here? And but yeah, I still
the fridge was in the next year. Yeah, the fridge.
Super Bowl 20.
Yeah, nice. I like nice.
Jim McMahon. That's when it really started taking over pop culture. They had the Super Bowl Shuffle. They recorded that rap song the very week they lost their only game against Miami, and then they wanted Miami in the Super Bowl. They ended up playing New England, who upset Miami, I believe. So, I mean, just the Super Bowl has done so many things and has been a part of just so many big memories. And speaking of memories and moments, what are some of your biggest or most shocking moments in Super Bowl history? What do you guys remember the most?
As a kid, okay, so I used to get a lot of shit about this from my Uncle Ronnie, but I was this huge John Elway fan. And I used to love John Elway as a kid because guys like him and Randall Cunningham would run with the football as quarterbacks. And it just blew my mind that the quarterback could run with the football and throw the football. And, I was a huge John Elway fan. In 1998, I think it was like a 3rd and 6 near the goal line. He books it. And he's like 38 years old at this point, so he doesn't have the same legs. And motherfucker jumps in the air and he gets hit and helicoptered and lands and gets a first down at the 4 yard line. And I'm like, gee, that's when I knew, because this is when I first started playing football too. Like, man, that guy wants to win. Like, he's willing to do whatever it takes. And I thought it was such a great moment because he gets fucking hit by 2 dudes and he spins in the air and lands, and you're like, holy shit, that was a crazy moment for me. That's one of the ones that really sticks out. And also one I previously mentioned was the Titans and Rams in 2000. This is a game that I saw beginning to end. I saw it at the Pan Am House. Joseph knows what I'm talking about. Randy knows what I'm talking about. The Pan Am House. We used to call it that because we lived across the street from Pan Am, UTRGV. And it was such a great game, and it came down to the wire, and we were all standing and cheering, holy fuck, they're going to score. They're at the 10-yard line. They need last play of the game, and the guy catches it and you think he's going to score, and he gets tackled, and he goes down right at the 1, and it was just a crazy dramatic ending to that Super Bowl, and that one will always stick with me. I know a lot of people have their favorite, and this is the best Super Bowl, but that Super Bowl ending has to, hands down, because it wasn't a field goal or an extra point. It was going forward, last play of the game. They're right there to score. You know what I mean? So it's got to be the best Super Bowl ending.
I can't get over the Patriot comeback. I think that is just something that I mean
Edelman's catch
quickly.
Yeah.
Edelman's catch was very cool.
Yeah, that too, but just everything. Like I don't know. Like it just seemed like the Falcons can do no wrong. They were just like
destroying.
I mean, they were destroying them. Yes, exactly. And they scored again in the third, I believe, one more time. And the whole 28-3 thing, it's memed, it's nonstop. It's crazy. Just to come back from that, to completely shut them down after that, it was not expected. I didn't think that that the Patriots were gonna not, maybe put some more points on the board. I thought, eventually maybe they'd get some things going, maybe get a little close, make it kind of interesting, at least, at the very least. But I did not expect that. And to be honest with you, it was fucking incredible to watch.
Yeah, everything. Was he just not the same dude after the game? Did y'all notice that?
I think so.
He was on top of the fucking world and killing it. And after that game, I feel like
Tom Brady ended his career.
Yeah, he did,
dude. Jeez.
It's not like he wasn't physically capable of playing the game. It's just, I think mentally it just completely fucked him over, And look at his career after that. Did he retire?
No, he's with the Colts. But he's like,
they're probably gonna let him go, dude, because he's no longer the starter.
I don't think he has much. The only thing that he can do in the NFL at this point is be a capable backup. But I don't think that's the career he wants. He's been in the league for a long time, though. We forget how long, Matt Ryan's actually been in the league. But that was insane. Second to that probably would be, I liked Bob's. Yeah, that was a good one too. Seeing that fucking John Elway helicopter hit touchdown, dude, that shit was just, and when you see that shit live and you see his body fucking like,
yeah. He was a little bit gordito at this time. He wasn't like the lightest, swiftest guy, slender guy anymore. A little bit older, a little more husky, and he's going for it, man. And he got up in the fucking air. It was pretty crazy.
His stomach jiggled a little bit when he got up there. It's funny because back then, it feels like ages ago, 37 was ancient for a quarterback. Quarterbacks were retiring at 34. Now quarterbacks are playing into their 40s, so 37 doesn't seem so old anymore. But back then, rules were different and they aged more.
Well, it was probably all the whiskey and cigarettes. Nowadays they're all vegans and shit like Tom Brady.
I would list some of my moments. The second Cowboys-Bills Super Bowl, I think it was 94, and it was in the Georgia Dome. It was a rematch. First one, of course, I remember. The second one, I was sick. I didn't watch the Super Bowl that Sunday. I actually recorded it, was absent from school the next day, and I watched it. And you can't do that nowadays because information is everywhere.
It was like the episode of How I Met Your Mother. Did you see that one where they all skipped the Super Bowl and they all try the next day not to watch it?
I could do it.
They record it.
I watched the Super Bowl, then I watched Clue and Price is Right. So I had a great Monday that following day.
Gilligan's Island.
Some of the memories I have: Super Bowl 49, Malcolm Butler's goal line interception, probably the dumbest play call in history.
Yes.
They were going to concede. There was 26 seconds left. The Patriots were going to concede that touchdown to the Seahawks because they would have been up 31-28 with 4 seconds left, and they would have driven for a field goal. Yeah, they had the 2 timeouts. They were going to go for a field goal. I don't know what made Pete Carroll and his staff call that slant and have Malcolm Butler intercept it.
It was the offensive coordinator. They blamed it on Schottenheimer for that call.
The guy who's just been hired as
I think he's the guy who's been hired as Dallas Cowboys. He's gutsy, Joseph.
He's not going to call the plays.
and I'm just going to throw this conspiracy theory out there, though.
It's scripted.
I think that no, that bullshit. I think that they didn't want Marshawn Lynch to get the MVP trophy. He was like in a contract year. He was having a lot of controversy. They didn't even know if they wanted to keep him around. And I think that he would have demanded a high. I don't know, dude. They couldn't have him be the MVP and cut him the next year or trade him the next year. And I think they wanted it to be Russell Wilson. They wanted Russell Wilson to get that final dagger. And, so that way he could be the star. He could be the hero, not Marshawn Lynch. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody's going to listen to this. They're going to be like, fuck yeah, you're right, Bob. And somebody might say, oh, that guy's an idiot. But I really do think that's the case, man. They didn't want to give the glory to Marshawn Lynch at the goal line and have him be the Super Bowl MVP or the hero. I think they wanted to give it to a young what's the name? I just said his name right now.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. Yeah, sorry, Russell Wilson. It's because I forgot his name because this past season he was very forgettable.
Yes.
His performance. But yeah, that's just my conspiracy theory on the matter.
Tyrese. I don't believe in conspiracy theories in sports.
Tyrese helmet catch, Super Bowl 42.
He had gum on the top of his helmet.
Incredible catch.
This guy never plays.
Was it an SNL skit or something?
It was he was hosting like the ESPYs or something, and he did like
who's this, Tom Brady?
No, it was Timberlake. Justin Timberlake was hosting the ESPYs, and he did like a 5-minute montage of him like having some kind of part in a lot of like viral sports clips or whatever, and the Super Bowl being the one, and it was like a clip where they were on the sideline of the Super Bowl, and he's chewing gum, and he takes his gum out, and he just puts it on the helmet, and they're like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, don't worry, this guy never plays. And all of a sudden the guy grabs his helmet and goes into the game. It's like, oh shit.
I got obviously the Titans stop at the goal line. Santonio Holmes game-winning grab, Super Bowl 43. I put that one down because that was one of the only Super Bowls I watched alone, and I ordered one of those tubs of lasagna that Pizza Hut had.
Where are we going here, bro?
I didn't do anything sensual with it, all right? Other than devour.
Lasagna. I cried, and I ate, and I cried.
I ate a whole tub of that lasagna by myself with the breadsticks. I hate it myself, but it was a great Super Bowl. I
fell asleep halfway through afterwards.
The Nick Foles
day is long.
I had Nick Foles Philly special, Super Bowl 52. Now, we were talking about quarterbacks. We were talking about Matt Ryan. Now, talk about Carson Wentz, how this might have affected his psyche, because he led the team down to the playoffs or into the playoffs, and then Nick Foles comes in, gets all the glory. Carson Wentz's career has never been the same. So this is another guy who's probably has some psychological issues. It's incredible. Devin Hester's kickoff TD to open up Super Bowl 41. There's one that I want to mention at the end here. I mentioned Edelman's catch. Bob, you talked about Elway's helicopter run, but the Scott Norwood 1991 Super Bowl Giants versus Super Bowl 25, Giants versus the Bills. I remember I was talking to my neighbor right now. I was telling you guys, I still call him my neighbor. We haven't lived next to each other in 30 years. But I was watching this game at his house, and I remember everything. So a buddy of mine, we were watching it at my neighbor's house. He had the big screen out. He had a projector and everything. We snuck out some beers from my dad's fridge, and we were watching the end of the game through my backdoor window. And we were in 8th grade, by the way. And we were drinking these beers and watching the game. We're like celebrating and toasting that the Bills are going to win. Scott Norwood misses that field goal, and holy crap, you could hear a pin drop. And then you hear shouting. I mean, I don't know if you guys were too young to remember this moment, but it was incredibly gut-wrenching. It was incredible.
Yeah, no, I can't say that I remember watching it live because I was still pretty young. I was like 5 or 6 when it happened. Going back, I mean, I know exactly what play it was, and Parcells winning, and the whole city of Buffalo just like being destroyed. Again, I've always said this, Rand, because you're the big sports buff here. What team has gone to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row in the history of the NFL?
Nobody, just the Buffalo Bills.
Just the Buffalo Bills. And I always call them the greatest team that wasn't, because no other team has ever been to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row. They never won the fucking Super Bowl, which is heartbreaking for them. Has to be for their fan base as well. But they're the greatest team that never was. That could have been, man. Imagine if they won 3 out of the 4 going 4 years in a row. We'd be talking about them as the greatest dynasty of all time.
For sure.
4 Super Bowls in a row is fucking unheard of, and there's only one team that's ever done it. And it's Jim Kelly's Buffalo Bills.
And then you had Thurman Thomas missing his helmet during the first, play of the game. You had the Scott Norwood. You had, in
the first Super Bowl against the Cowboys, Jim Kelly goes down with a knee injury, like in the first quarter, and they have to go with the backup, and they lose 52-17 or so. I think the Cowboys were going to beat them anyways. Joseph is nodding in agreement, but losing Jim Kelly, who is. I mean, Jim fucking Kelly, the Hall
Jim
of Famer.
Fucking Kelly. That's how you just say. That's how you say his name whenever you mention Jim Kelly. Jim fucking Kelly.
Love that guy. I'm glad that guy's
awesome, dude.
Doing great, dude.
Yeah, that was so sad when that shit was happening. We were like, and like Bob said, and I'm not trying to take up any more time on this, but he's such a good dude. You feel so. I mean, yeah, I wanted them to lose every time, but like he's such a good dude, and he's. it was just like when we heard about it, it was like, fuck, dude. That's like, your favorite quarterback or your, whatever. He was still just such a good dude. And to hear that, yes, he's on the mend and he's gotten, through it. Thankfully, that's really great. Real quick, another shocking one. I'm sorry. Did you want to fit?
No, I was just gonna say, I wish they'd won at least. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but the Cowboys definitely had the better team. If they would have beaten the Redskins and the Giants, I would have been like, okay, at least they won 2 out of 4.
Yeah. Another one, I think, too, real quick. I did not, Super Bowl 48. I did not expect the Denver Broncos to get spanked so badly. I hated this. I was just rooting. I was not a fan of Seattle Seahawks at that time. I'm still not really a fan of them. I don't have any reason to root for them. Anyway, I was rooting for Peyton Manning, who was getting towards the end of his career at that point. I thought that was his last chance to get a Super Bowl win, and to see them get spanked so bad they didn't score till the third quarter, just that one touchdown and 2-point conversion, got their asses kicked. And it was a boring Super Bowl it ended up being because it was such a lopsided game. So
Peyton Manning had the arm strength of like a 5th grader by that. Didn't he have like the neck surgery? And
neck surgery. Yeah. Can I say this? I hated Peyton Manning. with a passion that. Again, when he was a Colt, I fucking hated that guy. I couldn't stand the guy. Now, after he's retired and everything, I think he's hilarious and he's a cool dude and great dude.
And you love his nephew.
I love his nephew now. Hook him, baby. He's a UT Longhorn. But during the season, because he used to kick the shit out of the Texans every single year, every single game. My first Houston Texan game I went to was against the Colts and Peyton Manning, and he beat us at like the last second they beat us by like 3 points or something, and heartbreaking. But I fucking hated that guy with a passion. So
going back to those Cowboys teams, have you all read Boys Will Be Boys, the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, I have it here too.
That book is, cocaine, hookers. That was like North Dallas 40. Something broke.
Something broke. Hold on. I was getting this because I have this I have it right next to me on the bookshelf, but I dropped a bottle of whiskey.
Bob's holding the book up, the visual medium.
Not the Bible.
The good book.
Good book. Anyway, so Cowboys dynasty, Patriots dynasty, 49ers dynasty of the late 80s, Cowboys of the 90s, Patriots, it's, gone on for 20 years. Pick one of these dynasties and talk a little bit about like your best memories of.
I'm not the Cowboy fan that says every year at the beginning of the year, this is our year, we're going to Super Bowl, we them boys. I don't ever say that shit. I never say that at all. I'm a realist Cowboy fan. I accept the situation and I move forward from it. And I hope the best and I keep going. So anyway, 90s Super Bowl, Cowboys Super Bowl dynasty. Sure. Yeah, this is really awesome. It was a great time. But I think the Patriots are the greatest Super Bowl dynasty. As much as it's not so. People are going to say like, okay, people will say like, oh, it's not. It's a Bill Belichick thing. No, it was Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady. Let's talk about him. Yeah,
it was Tom Brady. So you can call it the Tom Brady dynasty, the Tom Brady Patriot dynasty. So for him to go and say, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves because we're going to talk about Brady.
We can talk about him now. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say. Everybody was saying that like, oh, it's not Tom Brady. It's not Tom Brady. It's the system. No, what does he do? He goes and leaves the said system, and what does he do? He goes and wins another one and sticks a middle finger in there at everybody, saying "fuck you all,"
including his wife. Screw you, Giselle.
10 Super Bowl appearances, 7 Super Bowl wins. Will that ever be topped?
No, I'll tell you what. Patrick Mahomes would probably be the closest one to even get close. To get to that. He's got such a great offensive scheme and a great head coach and a good supporting staff, and he's just an amazing quarterback. So I think he'll be the next runner up, but I don't think that's going to be. It's pretty much untouchable, man. And I do agree, Joseph, with Tom Brady being the guy, but Belichick's a fucking genius as well, man. Tom Brady in a lot of those games that he won in the Super Bowl, and I'm not to blow Belichick, but they were close games. They were low scoring games. Belichick's defense and schemes, they kept them in those fucking Super Bowl wins. A lot of them were like 20-17, you know what I mean? Something like that. Until recently where they're a little bit higher, but a lot of the first ones that he won, it was Vinatieri winning it for him, 20-17, 21-13, shit like that. They're pretty close. So I think Belichick definitely deserves credit as one of the greatest coaches of all time. But Tom Brady, there is just zero debate that he's the greatest NFL player of all time. It used to be Jerry Rice. I think now it's Tom Brady.
I agree that Belichick's he's a great coach. He's probably one of the best ever. Quote unquote disciples have gone on to have somewhat decent careers, at least when they get their, initial first hires, and then they, shit happens, and then they end up making their way back to the Patriots. But
making the way downtown.
Look at the quarterbacks that have quarterbacked the Patriots since Tom Brady left. What have they done? Right now, they're actually wondering whether or not who's the guy that they have right now?
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Is he the Daddy Mac or the Mac Daddy?
There's questions whether or not he's the guy. I thought he might be, but now they're starting to question whether they're going to have to go look for another quarterback too.
Let me just say this. So, like in 2010,
it's the same coach. It's the same system.
What year was Tom Brady tore his ACL or some shit like that in week 3, and Matt Castle came in and went 11-3 in the season. So, yes, we can say it's Tom Brady. But yeah, you also got to give credit to Bill Belichick, and he's had some great defenses in certain part of those years.
The reason Matt Castle was so successful was because he was Tom Brady's backup.
Remember, Drew Bledsoe.
So was Hoyer, and he gave it a Texans, and he sucked.
Drew Bledsoe won that first NFC championship because Tom Brady was out. Yeah, and Drew Bledsoe
he got that shit on his face.
No, that's Drew Brees.
My bad. Bledsoe. I love Bledsoe.
And talking about coaches, you guys brought up Bill Belichick. Andy Reid is the only coach still coaching from the 90s. Well, actually, let me back that up, because Bill Belichick coached the Cleveland Browns in the early 90s, had about 3 bad seasons with him, I think, or 2. But Andy Reid's success level since 1999 up until now he's coached 24 consecutive years. And he's coached some of the best teams in the world. What is Andy Reid's legacy? What do you think? I think one of the best coaches ever.
I think he's going to go down as one of the best coaches, best offensive minds ever. I mean, look what he did with those Eagles teams with Donovan McNabb, and during that span, they're in the NFC Championship game like every fucking year or every other year for like a 7-year span before he finally got fired. I don't know why they fired him, because they weren't winning the big game, but then he goes to Kansas City, and look, he dominates. He was winning with Alex Smith, and then they smartly trade up and draft Mahomes, and ahead of the Texans, I might say. So I'm still kind of bitter about that. We ended up with a sexual deviant. Anyways,
should have kept him.
Hand me a towel. But yeah, I think that Andy Reid himself is a genius, dude, a genius, and I think him chewing that big ass wad of gum, going 100 miles an hour, reading his like huge scorecard. Have you seen his look at menu at Denny's? Have you seen his playbook card that he's on? Holy shit.
The very avuncular Andy Reid. You can't deny his success. 14 years in Philadelphia. What did he lead him to? 5 straight NFC titles. I think 2 Super Bowls, or was it 1 Super Bowl? I think one, and he lost that Super Bowl when Donovan McNabb couldn't run down the field because he wasn't in shape.
He had a stomach ache. Yeah, Theo called him out, and he was like, "You ate too many fucking donuts."
Was he fired from Philadelphia?
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah,
I mean, okay,
he was there 14 years.
It's taken a while for Philadelphia has seen some success, and then they fall off, and then they see some success and they fall off again. And right now they're seeing some success.
Not against the Astros.
I don't think. Yeah, that I meant the Eagles, but yeah,
okay.
Not against the Astros. I don't think there was ever any justification for firing him. I really don't.
No. Other than like you had 14 opportunities and you don't have 1 championship. I mean, what do you say? I mean, just like Marvin Lewis in Cincinnati.
But then he goes to the Chiefs, and look what he's done there.
Yeah, but Marvin Lewis never went to the damn AFC Championship game, though.
Is there a Super Bowl rumor you guys have heard that you think is just hilarious? One of the funniest Super Bowl rumors I've ever heard was Lawrence Taylor buying hookers for the team that they were playing against. I forgot who the Giants were playing that year. I can't remember. I think it was Super Bowl 87.
Was it the Bills? No,
it wasn't the Bills. Lawrence Taylor was who were they playing at the time? It's gonna drive me nuts. I'll think about it. But Lawrence Taylor buying hookers for the opposing team.
It was not so much a rumor. I saw like a Joe Namath documentary, and that I forgot who it was. It was like a security guard or something like that at a bar. Saw Joe Namath walking out like at 7 a.m. with 2 chicks and his mink coat, And he immediately was like, "Holy fuck, that's Joe Namath! They're playing in the Super Bowl today. What the fuck?" So he immediately called his friend, who had money, and we were like, "We got to bet everything we can on the Colts against the Jets because Joe Namath, he's been partying all fucking night. No way he's gonna win the Super Bowl." And he was like, "And then we lost our ass because Joe Namath came out, and of course it's the biggest upset in Super Bowl history. The Jets beating the
Colts, Super Bowl
Colts,
III, yeah."
Yeah, Super Bowl III. Yeah. So not so much that motherfucker. I mean, you can party like that and still go and kick ass. I mean, props to Joe Namath. Can I kiss you?
So the team that Lawrence Taylor brought hookers for was the Denver Broncos. He sent hookers to their hotel the night before the Super Bowl.
That's one way to do it.
Allegedly, I don't know. Joseph, any Super Bowl stories that jump out at you?
It's not a rumor. I just think it's hilarious, and I think it's something that you read in the book. I know I've heard Michael Irvin say it on camera that that when in Super Bowl. I'm not good with Roman numerals. The one in '93 against the Bills, when Michael Jackson was performing, that he completely like skipped the halftime locker room meeting, whatever. Like whatever, he was out. He was basically almost out on the field watching the whole halftime show. He was like, "That's fucking Michael Jackson. I'm gonna go out there and watch. I'm gonna watch the show."
He fucked up because that was the worst Michael Jackson performance I've ever seen. He was lip syncing first off. They have the fake dude pop up on top of the scoreboard, and then like the lookalike, and then Michael Jackson comes in. He's constantly adjusting his mic, even though he's not doing it he on time in sync with the actual song. And then he sings "We Are the Fucking World." Like, what the fuck? We're trying to have a good time here, and you're ruining our night. All we needed was Bob Dylan to pop out, all stoned out of his mind, and help him out.
Let's transition into that best halftime show, guys.
You don't have to say that. We know you're going to say U2. I mean, why even bother?
No, I do have U2 up there, but I will say this: worst one was the Black Eyed Peas in 2011. Their version of "I Had the Time of My Life." Then they brought out Slash from Guns N' Roses, which I thought was worse. He had some other stinkers like New Kids on the Block, Gloria Estefan, Enrique Iglesias with Christina Aguilera, Patti LaBelle with Tony Bennett. But here are my 5 best. Honorable mention. So this one, Bruno Mars and the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
5, puto.
That's number 6. So my top 5: Dre, Snoop, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, 50 Cent, Kendrick Lamar from last year, and then I got a tie at number 4: Rolling Stones and Bruce Springsteen, and then Shakira and Jennifer Lopez, then U2, and then Prince, because Prince's performance was legendary.
Yeah, dude, I agree with that. You know, I will say this about U2. They came out and they sang. It was the year,
9/11.
It was the year of 9/11 had just happened months earlier, and they kind of brought everyone together. It was a really good performance in that retrospect. The Janet Jackson titty slip. I mean, we have to talk about that. That was like the most controversial and everything like that. It was so controversial that they got Grandpapa Paul McCartney to play the next year. Yeah. I thought Paul McCartney did a great job, regardless, man. I mean, he had the whole crowd singing "Hey Jude," the "na na na na" for over 10 minutes. It was fucking fantastic. The Stones were pretty cool. Michael Jackson again. Michael Jackson would have been great if he was singing. I get it. Unity. He sang "Black or White." He sang "We Are the World." He talked about the children. It's all about the children. And it was. You know, I get it. But you know, I would have rather him. You know, did more dancing. Prince. I gotta agree with Prince. Dude, Prince came out
in the rain.
Rocked. He came out in the artificial rain, and they rocked the show, and that's why everybody's slipping after half. So he really had an effect on the game as well.
I very much enjoyed the Michael Jackson performance. I don't care if he was lip singing. I thought the whole production was awesome. I thought the whole thing was great. Second B, even though it was recent, the Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, 50 Cent, you name it, they were almost all of them were all there. Great show.
That 50 Cent is still hanging upside down there.
They looked a little bulky, yeah.
I was happy to see that, and then that's pretty much it for me. I will say I'm a little. This is so I don't know. It's just everybody loses their fucking mind. Like accidents happen, all right. Everybody went in on Janet Jackson and I guess Timberlake too. And I don't. If I know Timberlake had recently, he had
a booby tassel. There was no accident, Joseph.
Dude,
there's a spike.
Everybody lost their fucking mind. You know what? Anything can happen. In the game, somebody can get injured and the fucking bone can pop out of their goddamn shin. And if it happens, it happens. Sure. An accident.
Yeah, so, bones were popping out after that.
I thought everybody losing their fucking mind was pretty stupid. And it's just, you know what? Everything they've done since then has been to, except for last one. I'm very much surprised that they went with a whole group of people that were
Well, people were
rap artists
complaining
and hip
about
hop artists and R&B artists. I was really surprised with that.
people were complaining about Shakira and J Lo shaking their ass during the Latino whatever the dance party they had at halftime, and I was like, what the fuck? What's the big deal? That's the way they dance. They've been dancing that way for years. Who gives?
They
a
do
shit?
that in their music videos. Why? And you knew what you were signing up for. Like you backtrack after that shit happens. You knew what you were bringing to the performance. Like, shut the fuck up.
So that
own it.
That happened in 2020. I cannot name one damn song they performed together. I just remember the visual.
I hadn't listened to one in a long time up until last year's. I would just mute it, just leave it alone. I'm not interested in hearing it.
Yeah, I'm not a big halftime guy either. Usually at that time, I'm like, okay, it's time to like get a plate of food or you mute it, sit and talk, have a smoke, shoot the shit.
So there was a stretch where it was like they were bringing out all the old rockers. They had Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen, Rolling Stones. They had U2, and now they're featuring more recent artists. But is there an artist? I think we're all going to agree on this selection. An artist that's big enough.
On the count of three.
Wait,
after Randy. After Randy.
Is there an artist that's big enough that could maintain an audience that size, that's popular, that's never done a Super Bowl show? Who would it be?
Count of three.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Metallica.
We're on the list. It's fucking Metallica. Yeah, it's no doubt it's
Metallica. Will they ever do a Super Bowl halftime show?
Dude,
they will never let them. I don't think that. No, they should. Yes, they should, Bob. Yes, they should. They should be. They should do it. Why? Because it's like, I forgot who said it. What gets blasted throughout the stadium throughout the whole game? Hard rock, metal,
hookers in
nonstop. It's to say that genre of music is not, doesn't go hand in hand with the game of American football is stupid. And to not have the biggest, best, most successful
living
hard rock band ever perform at the Super Bowl halftime show is just crazy. And it's like, well, no, because, we're trying to attract teeny bop audience, and the teeny boppers aren't going to know. Well, you know what? Thanks to Stranger Things, they do now.
Now they do know. Yeah, it would have been great to use them. I don't know why the fuck we went with Rihanna. Like, nothing against Rihanna, Beautiful Eyes.
Yeah, nothing against Rihanna. I'm not interested in it.
Yeah, I don't see the connection there. Like, maybe they're appealing more to the female audience. A younger audience, they're trying to give them a show during the game, because the football game mostly it's towards a male audience. I don't know. I don't get the Rihanna thing, man.
They've brought out rock bands, but I mean, you're talking about like Coldplay and U2, but they haven't brought out a metal band. No. And the only two I could think of, one, they'll never fucking do it because they can't get their shit together. Guns N' Roses. I don't think they've done a halftime show, right? Prince is the only hard rock. Well, I mean, whatever you consider Prince, but he's amazing. He's one of the best guitarists that ever lived.
I consider him beautiful. I mean,
Prince did All Along the Watchtower. He did Let's Go Crazy. But Metallica would bring down the house. But I think they're thinking that Metallica isn't family friendly, is what they're trying to say.
Of course they are. They all have kids and wives and short hair now. They'd be fine.
Well, what would be great, dude? What would be your 3 dream Metallica songs at halftime? Which halftime songs do they have to do?
Well, For Master of Puppets. Yeah, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Master of Puppets, obviously, because it's huge right now.
They can do a melody, so I'd say Fuel. It's a little, it's
very upbeat, and like fits that mold. Maybe One. No, that one's a little too.
No, I don't think they would do.
They could do Enter Sandman. They could do Enter Sandman, dude. It's huge. It's a fucking headbanger's anthem. Just do it without the prayer.
Yeah, I mean that would.
If Madonna could sing like a prayer, fucking Metallica should be able to do Enter Sandman.
I guarantee.
Nobody mentioned Madonna, by the way.
Madonna, it was okay.
Can you do okay. like okay? So they'd probably do a melody of like 4 to 5 songs, real quick off the top of your head. We can cut this if not. Can you think? Okay, what can you go 5 songs real quick? So 2.
Master of Puppets for sure.
Puppets.
I got that one too.
For Whom the Bell Tolls. I think
For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Enter Sandman for sure.
Enter Sandman.
I said Fuel.
I like
Fuel.
4. I'll go with Fuel. What would be the 5th?
Maybe Sad But True.
I think they'd have to play something
upbeat.
They'd want to play something from their, like if they were doing it this year.
Yeah.
So they have that new albums coming out in a couple of months.
They can even play like Hardwired.
They could play a Hardwired or their new single Lux Eterna. That's a pump up, fire up song. So
they'd have to play one recent, one off their latest. I think
Battery.
They
need to play Battery.
But will they ever play a halftime show? Metallica, why not?
I hope so, dude. I hope so. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll put it together.
Roger fucking Goodell.
Come on, bro. Get your life together. You know you get a headbang.
You would think with the emergence of Stranger Things, I think one of you brought up the point that their albums are selling. Everybody loves that song. Bring it in. People are going to recognize it. People love hard rock music. I like rap. I like hip hop. I like all the stuff that they're bringing in. But you got to have a mix. Come on, you got to mix it up a little bit. Switching it up a bit, let's talk about snacks. What are your best Super Bowl food snacks? If you're having a get together, you're on the grill or you're ordering or you're cooking or whatever, what has to be there?
No self-respecting man is ordering food on Super Bowl. Okay, during the Super Bowl. God damn it. Not in Texas.
Pizza. Right?
You got to barbecue. You got to barbecue. It's like it's got to be fajitas, sausage, tacos. I'm smoking a brisket this year to change it up a bit. Queso, dude. You got to have chips and queso, chips and dips. That's an essential. You got to have some kind of chip to munch on, right? Chicken wings. I've grilled chicken wings before in the past, but mostly it's always been like barbecue. We've done barbecue and we've done like chips and dips. At one time we made homemade pizza. I think you were here for that, Joseph. Me and Joseph usually watch Super Bowl together. I think we made homemade pizza that one of the times it came out pretty good.
I think you can order food, Bob, as long as it's chicken wings. That's it. Don't order pizza. Like, what's the point?
Don't order. Yeah, come on, man. You're better than that.
You can order chicken wings. I'm cool with that because I think that is an essential.
If you want to wait 4 hours, fuck yeah.
If you got to plan ahead.
Yeah, the smart way to do it is order like at noon. And then get it, and then just warm them up in the oven right before a game's going to start.
Yeah, you can do that, but I mean, like we can cook, so you can do the same thing on the grill. I mean. And sometimes they're just as good, whatever you want to do. But so I think wings are essential. I think, okay, if you said serving, like, okay, so if it's us, it's here, it's us three. I know that we need some wings.
Beer.
We need beer. We need fajitas. We need,
sausage.
We need dips.
Jalapeno cheese sausage.
I would say, I don't want to say burgers, although it depends on what kind of party. Like if you wanted to go full out.
July, Joseph.
If you want to go full out, like you skip the burgers and hot dogs. If you're just trying to have a small little thing, feed everybody shuts up. Sure, go for the burgers and hot dogs. Down here, or for us, like it's fajitas, fajita tacos, chicken wings, like sausage. Like I said, we're cooking some sausage, some jalapeno cheddar sausage. That sounds good. Obviously, the dips, like
Bears,
Ditka. I think as dips. Yeah, Bob said queso.
We dip.
Dip. I've only seen this bust out during Super Bowl and Super Bowl parties. Like when we used to do this at work, like the buffalo chicken dip.
Oh yeah, I got that listed.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody make it other than like
for the Super Bowl. Yeah.
It's good. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong, but like,
I'm gonna ask the whitest question I've ever asked on this show. Do you go with when it comes to dips that you buy it at the store at the supermarket? Is it ranch or sweet onion dip? What's your go-to, Randall? Come on, Randall. I know
I like both, but I would go sweet onion. But I have a question. What about you? Do you like ranch or sweet onion?
With ruthless, with ruffles?
Oh, sweet onion with the ruffles. You can't go wrong. Just like with the Doritos, you got to go bean dip with the Doritos.
Yeah, bean dip with Doritos or Fritos. You can't go wrong with that shit, dude. You can't.
What about for buffalo wings? Are you guys ranch or blue cheese?
Ranch.
Oh,
I like both. If it's Wingstop,
I'm sure they taste exactly the same.
Ranch. Wingstop makes excellent ranch, so I'd go ranch to them. But I like blue cheese. I don't like blue cheese crumbles, but I like blue cheese dressing, if that makes any sense.
Is there any like your Super Bowl party you went to where you ate a snack and you're like, holy crap, this is good? You never had it before. I got a couple listed.
What is it? If you say fucking green bean casserole, I swear to God.
I have sweet and sour meatballs, a little cranberry sauce, rice, wine, vinegar, and a pinch of brown sugar. Really good. Sweet and sour meatballs, yes.
I had it with a nice sweet can.
Is this IKEA? What the fuck? Where was this party you were at?
I had some good beef empanadas at a party one time. Deviled eggs are always good. I mean, I like a variety.
Yeah,
I like
that's right.
I like
that's
snack
right.
foods.
Deviled
I like
eggs.
snack
Gotta bust
foods.
those bad boys
Deviled
out
eggs,
there.
deviled eggs are amazing, deviled eggs. But let's go back to the Swedish meatball bullshit. Well, what the fuck? We all were even watching you watched the Super Bowl for the Super Bowl commercials.
We're all building furniture.
Guaranteed.
They were good. I mean, I can't deny. I was skeptical at first, but I could not put those down. They were the hit of the party. The sweet and sour meatballs. Once again, cranberry sauce, rice, wine, vinegar, and a pinch of brown sugar. Trust me, it'll change your life.
There's like three listeners that actually wrote that down.
They're all. I think I know who they all are. But
have y'all ever had like usually like the wife or somebody will make the like sugar cookies that are like shaped like footballs or chocolate cupcakes with like the white frosting with like the little footballs like in laces out like in what was that? That was Ace Ventura, right? Yeah. I can't think of anything. Usually we're pretty standard. I have been perfecting a queso recipe, and I think the past couple of times we've made it, we've been like extremely good, really fucking amazing. So queso is definitely on the list. We're gonna make some spicy ass híjole salsa, Joseph. So prepare us for that. Like I've been practicing a lot, like smoking briskets. I've been doing that since COVID, trying to perfect my brisket and stuff like that. So we're gonna make a big ass brisket, but I'll probably still barbecue. I'll do some like Mexican street corn and like jalapeno cheese sausage, just to go with the brisket, Joseph.
When your wife makes the híjole salsa, I think she has malice intention. I think she purposely chops them bitches up, smiling and laughing to herself.
With me, I think the Super Bowl snacks you got to build up when you walk into it, because I've been to a couple Super Bowl parties. When you start off with like a nice charcuterie board,
I knew he was going to fucking say that. I absolutely knew it.
You don't want to have something too tight, and the khakis will fit too tight around the waist. So you don't want to munch, you don't want to overfill.
And then you go with the chips, and then you start by about halftime. That's when you start filling up on the heavy stuff. You got to work your way into it.
Now let me tell you how a man's gonna do this. We're gonna eat snacks and drink a lot of beer, and then once we're buzzed enough, then we're gonna eat the main deal, like the fajitas or the barbecue or something like that.
Let me ask you a question. What's your opinion on
fucking around, guys?
On veggie trays?
I'm for them. You got to have some.
I don't mind.
Sort of,
yeah.
You got.
Okay, so you
celery, a little bit of ranch,
celery,
broccoli,
ranch, carrots, broccoli. I never really had that before. Obviously, I was never healthy, and that's when my life will probably die when I'm 50. No, I'm just kidding. When my in-laws started coming over, like for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, they would bring a veggie tray, and it'd be like carrots and celery and broccoli with ranch and crackers. Dude, I would eat the shit out of the broccoli and the carrots. I'd be done. I wouldn't even be able to eat fucking lunch afterwards because I eat the shit out of that. I never knew that was a thing, and maybe it's a side. It's not good being Mexican. But a big movie trailer comes out every year during the Super Bowl, like a movie that we've been waiting on, or a movie we're like, holy shit, I didn't even know that they were making this. Yeah, they do like teasers or shit like that. So I'm hoping we see a good movie trailer.
And that's a good point, because the first time I remember experiencing that was the Super Bowl, the first Bills Cowboys Super Bowl in 1993, I believe, and it was Cliffhanger. Sylvester Stallone's Cliffhanger was out, and I was like, oh, we gotta watch this fucking movie. And of course,
look how tight his shorts are. Cliffhanger, wow, that's fucking cool, dude. Yeah. Did they have the guy with the deep voice doing the voiceover for the trailer? Probably.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Guys, predictions for next week's Super Bowl. What do you have?
Pain.
I'm not rooting for. No. I'm not rooting for Philadelphia at all, but I predict them to win because I don't think a healthy Mahomes.
Don't let the curly hair fool you.
Anyway, I'm picking. I think it's going to be Philadelphia, and I'm blaming it on not a healthy Mahomes.
On the rain. I'm blaming it on the rain. I'm going Philly winning 24-17. Philly winning 24-17, man. And then Jalen Hurts being the MVP.
I have Philly 38-35 in overtime. I'm going to predict it. I think it's going to be Jalen Hurts as the MVP.
Jalen Hurts, man.
Way too early predictions for next year's Super Bowl. Do you guys have any? I'm going to
Dallas Cowboys,
Chiefs,
Houston Texans,
Chiefs and 49ers.
Chiefs and 40. I got Bengals and 49ers.
I thought it was going to be the Chiefs and 49ers if they lost their quarterback. I know he's wasn't their original starter, but he was injured, and then the backup got injured. So then the injured quarterback had to go in and finish a game that he couldn't even fucking throw the ball. So yeah,
I think the 49ers are going to have a little slip up. I think that I would have to go with either the Eagles or I was going to say, man, or the Cowboys in the Super Bowl next year. And I'm not a Cowboy fan, but I'm going to throw it out there.
Yes,
Eagles or Cowboys in the Super Bowl for the NFC. And I'm going to go the Buffalo Bills, man. A little throwback, Cowboys, Bills, Super Bowl next year.
I'd love to see the Bills win one just for that city. Just to wrap up the football talk, guys, what has football meant to you guys? You guys played it growing up throughout your teenage years. Still fans, still love watching college ball, still love watching pro ball. What does it mean to you?
All balls, really.
Means everything, man. I mean, it's where I've met some of my best friends to this day. Some of my greatest friends. I know it's not looked at as I know it's looked at as a dangerous sport. I think they're making advances to make it safer, but I can't deny the team, the work ethic, that I learned in organized sports in general. And for me, it was football. So, I love it. Sad that, we have to wait a little while, but we're going to see the XFL and the USSFL or whatever they're called. So we still got some football to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And, football is just a huge part of my life. It has been since I was in high school, since I was a kid, watching high school games, going to the games, and then playing in high school and coaching and all that stuff. I think that it's just one of those things, man. I look forward to it every year. September rolls around. I can't wait to watch Longhorn games and Texans games, college football, big games on Saturday night, barbecuing on Saturdays to watch the big game, Sundays, catching the Cowboys, catching the Texans, seeing who's playing Sunday night football. It gives you something, not that it gives us something to do, but it gives us a reason to be like, hey, let's go sit outside. Let's barbecue a little bit. Let's buy a 6-pack and let's share a 6-pack and let's watch the football game. Gives you a reason to get together and watch. And, like Joe said, it's always been a big part of our lives. It's where I met some of my best friends. Still to this day, I love football. It'll be one thing, I'm always sad when it ends. And by July, I'm already losing my shit because there's no football on TV and I can't fucking wait for, you get a little taste of it at the draft. You get a little taste of it with OTAs and training camp. And then you're just waiting for preseason, waiting for the games to start. So it's huge, man. It's my favorite sport to watch. And I look forward to it every year.
I didn't play football growing up, but I've been to every sort of major pro league. I've been to NBA games, Major League Baseball. I've been to a hockey game. I've been to an international soccer game, USA and Mexico. Nothing compares to the atmosphere of a football game, college and professional. I mean, the cheering in the stands, the spectacle, the music, just the ambiance of it. And then growing up and watching, of course, we're all from Texas. We grew up with football being the main sport here. And it's just a remarkable thing, playing Madden, playing in the backyard, watching these games growing up. Like I said, I could remember every Super Bowl, where I was, who I was with, the food I had, and it's just been an amazing experience. So for the Super Bowl to come up again, getting to share that with my family, getting to share this talk with you guys, it's never going to get boring. It's always going to be a tradition and just such a fun thing to enjoy. And then so lastly, guys, we're going to wrap up. We're celebrating our 2 years, 2-year anniversary. We're not going to.
I didn't get you a gift.
We're not going to do a traditional anniversary show. We're going to take next week off. We're like SNL. We do 3 episodes, take a week off, but we wanted to throw in this 4th episode because it fell right before the Super Bowl. So we're going to wait to do a retrospective when we hit 100 shows. Right now we're in 79. But we could talk a little bit about the 2 years of being a podcast and what your experience has been, or if you guys want to talk just a few minutes about these 2 years. I know that's a lot to talk about in a couple of minutes, but so I'll throw it to you guys. What do you think?
Go for it, Joseph.
I am surprised. It's very surprising. Who knew? I said it before, just take a chance to do something, and it's been fun and crazy how many people actually tell us that they like it. I'll never get over that, and I'm thankful for the new friends and people that we've communicated with, and it's really been cool. I'm really, really surprised. I think we're about maybe 2 more years from finally being good. But we'll see what happens.
One more player away.
We're a few credits shy.
What about you, Bob?
Oh man, it's been a great 2 years, dude. I think that we've grown. I think that we've gotten better. I think that our topics have been interesting. They've been funny. I'm sure people are like, "Hey, these guys ain't too half bad. What the fuck?" I didn't expect that out of them. They know a lot about music, or that one doesn't know shit about music or movies or whatever the case is. But I think that we've grown really. I mean, really well, dude. The numbers are high, and just like high for what we expect. Shit, I originally thought that we'd probably have like 20 people listen to us on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Shit, I didn't think that we'd have, thousands of people from different countries. I know we were talking to another pod the other day from Australia, and that, listen to our pod like, what the fuck are you doing? You should be at a beach somewhere fucking around with kangaroos. Why the fuck are you listening to us? There's that laugh. I love it. And meeting other friends from other podcasts and collaborating and like, just getting views and comments on Instagram, and it's just been a great experience, man. I couldn't have asked for a better experience. Hopefully we continue to grow. I know we have a fuckload of topics that we still want to talk about. Some funny, some interesting, some highly debatable topics. I think that we're definitely going to get into. So I'm grateful for you all. I'm grateful for the show. I can't wait to hit 100. I think for 100 we should pop champagne and do something fun or out there, come up with a crazy topic, or just shoot the shit. But for all our fans listening, 2 years, wow, y'all been listening for 2 years. Holy shit, dude. Yeah, how are you not tired of us? I can't believe it.
I remember I was listening to the first episode again a couple days ago just to prepare for
which
this.
I won, by the way. Which I won. I'm just gonna throw
so my intro was way too long. It sounded like I was trying to introduce like the instructions for like a Nickelodeon game show or something. I was like, the song started over again and I was still talking about what the show was about. So I listened to that and I was like cringing, saying, damn, I need to get to the point. But that's what growth is about. I've been very happy to do this with both of you all. And it's been fun. I think we've grown. I remember the first day we got double-digit listeners, and we were like, we got 12 listeners in one day, but 3 of them were us, so we were still only at 9. And then so that
was exciting shit, though. That was really exciting.
Yeah. I remember I think our first month we had like 47 downloads, and we were like, oh, you know what? That's like an average of whatever, because we started February the 15th, and we had 47 downloads those first 15 days, and we were like, that's not too bad, that's, whatever. We were thinking about it. And now we see the growth, and we see the amount of people and the cities and the countries. I know some of those are VPN, whatever, but I see all this stuff, and I'm constantly saying, look at these numbers. Look, they're coming in. They're looking good. It's just exciting, man. For anybody who listens, thank you all so much, because we're just here to have fun and hopefully have you guys reminisce about some of the past moments in your life with pop culture and nostalgia. We'll talk more about it when we do episode 100, but it's been a fun 2 years, and hopefully many more to come. We got merchandise now. We got friends from other podcasts who will guest on our show for the upcoming months and weeks, and new guests as well. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I think we're going to have a really, really great year. 2 years down and on to, more guests, more audience. Hopefully we hit more people and not hit on people, but more people catch our show and become avid listeners. And, hopefully the numbers continue to grow, man. I'd love to have more people disagree with me around the US.
It's funny how this show plays into a lot of things. Before we were recording, this is a Sunday night, and they're showing the Grammys. And right the time we were supposed to hop on, Harry Styles was performing. And I goes, I got to watch Harry Styles with my daughter. I'm sure these guys would make fun of me, but fuck, they'll understand.
You've been talking about who, Pink Floyd?
But no, I mean, it's been a fun ride so far, and we have many more episodes to come. So please stick with us, listen to us. And that's our show, everyone. Listeners, we'd love to hear from you. Hit us up and let us know what your favorite all-time Super Bowl memories are. Most importantly, let us know what you think about the show. You may reach us at formidableopponents@gmail.com. Follow us on all forms of social media. Buy our merchandise. And, of course, also, please rate and review us on Apple and Spotify. That really helps us out. Join us next episode. We're going to take a week off for the Super Bowl, but we will be back in 2 weeks with the return of Joe Michael, the original emo kid, as we discuss and debate best emo song. So for Bob and Joseph, this is Randall. We'll see you all next time.
You play to win the game.
So God made a farmer.
They were who we thought they were. We let them off the hook.